In today's session, we will learn how to validate requirements from a tester's perspective using Jira. From a tester's perspective, validating requirements mean ensuring that the requirements are clear, checking if they are complete, verifying they are testable, and identifying gaps, risks, and ambiguities if there are any. Imagine you are a tester, you have just joined a sprint, and a new ticket in Jira pops up telling you to implement login functionality. That sounds simple, but the tester pauses here and asks himself, what kind of login? What happens if the password is wrong? What about security and the edge cases and the validation? This is where requirement validation begins. He tests the understanding of the feature. So he checks the description, acceptance criteria, all the attachments and comments. But the ticket only says users should be able to log in. So the problem here is that it is too vague. A tester should never assume requirements. If something is unclear, it is a risk. So tester starts validating by asking what are valid username formats, what happens on invalid login, is there a lockout after multiple attempts, is two-factor authentication required, and what about the password rules. Example thinking could be that bad requirement like user logs in successfully. So this is a bad requirement. Validated requirements means, for example, user logs in using the email and password. If incorrect credentials are entered 3 times, the account is locked for 15 minutes. Let's see how Jira can be used for validation. So a tester now uses Jira features like he adds the comments, he writes please clarify error handling and password rules. Then he uses the mentions, he tags the developer or a product owner. So here I have added an additional email account as a team member with the testing role. As a result, I am now able to view comments on the story and tag the product owner or developer. For example, my previously used email account that I used in the last sessions. Then he can create subtasks, add the test scenarios and edge cases checks. So let's see how adding tasks work in Jira. So tester logs into Jira and the sprint has just started and a new ticket appears on the board saying, for example, place order food delivery app. One thing to note here is that ticket is a generic word for any issue in Jira. So the tester clicks on it and the description says user should be able to place an order. So he leans back slightly and he doesn't rush to write the test cases because he knows something very important, that is, if the requirement is unclear, the testing will be wrong. On the right side of Jira ticket, the tester looks for acceptance criteria and there is nothing meaningful there. So instead of guessing, he scrolls down and clicks add comment. So he can type like, can you clarify payment options, error handling and order confirmation behavior. He tags the product owner, so he's trying to prevent the future bugs. Because in a food delivery app, place order is not just one step, it is a journey. While waiting for clarification, the tester doesn't sit idle, he starts breaking the feature down. So on the same Jira ticket, he clicks on create subtask. The first thing he imagines is a real user. So he imagines that I open the app, I pick a burger and I add it to a cart. So he creates his first subtask, that is to verify food item selection. Inside it he writes, check if menu loads correctly, items display properly and unavailable items are handled. He saves it. Without leaving the ticket, he clicks on create subtask again. Now he thinks after selecting food, users usually add it to the cart. So second subtask would be verify add to cart functionality. He types validate adding multiple or single item, updating quantity and removing the items. He's walking through the app in his mind and Jira is just capturing that thinking. So he continues with the journey. The third subtask is to validate delivery address input. He imagines what if the user enters a wrong address. So he writes check valid or invalid address location detection and empty field validation. Fourth task is to test payment process. The tester then realizes what if the user clicks place order twice? So that is not in the requirement and that is not in the description, but that is exactly how bugs happen. He creates another subtask, validate edge cases during order placement, and writes check empty cart checkout, duplicate order submission, and app interruption scenarios. Now something changes. So the product owner replies to his earlier comment and the tester gets a notification. He opens it and now the ticket is updated with the proper acceptance criteria, uh, which is that user can select items and add to cart. A user must enter delivery address. Payment can be cash on delivery or on card. Order confirmation shown after success. So this time, instead of confusion, he compares the updated requirement with his subtask and he notices something very powerful. Everything is now aligned. His subtasks already cover the functional flow, the negative scenarios, edge cases. So what he assumed is what is officially required. His understanding matches the real requirements. He didn't go in the wrong direction, and minimal rework will be needed. So still in Jira, he has already cleaned up the place order ticket, but now he realizes something bigger. This is not just one ticket. This is part of the whole feature. So he clicks create epic. He names it food ordering flow. Then he adds the description that it covers an end-to-end food ordering from the selection to confirmation. So he created a container for the entire user journey. Now next step is to linking the work to Epic. He finds the ticket, place order food delivery app. He selects food ordering flow, so Epic link like food ordering flow will be created. So this story now belongs to this Epic. So it is a hierarchical relationship, that is parent-child relationship. Epic means parent and story means a child. Now the ticket is no longer isolated, it belongs to a bigger story of the app. Next step is to break the epics into story, which leads to real flow thinking. So tester thinks like a user again, ordering food is not just placing order. So he creates multiple stories under the epic. He clicks create issue and adds the browse menu, add to cart, manage cart, enter delivery address, make payment, and order confirmation. For each one he sets epic link as food ordering flow, that is it adds these stories to main epic named food ordering flow. Now let's dive into one story. So let's assume the tester opens make payment. Now this is where the tester thinking kicks in. Instead of testing it directly, he clicks on create subtask. Inside make payment, he creates subtasks as validate card payment, validate cash on delivery, handle failed transactions, check payment timeout. Each subtask represents one focused testing responsibility. So he starts working practically. He clicks on one subtask like validate card payment, for example. So on the right panel, he assigns himself as an assignee, and now the responsibility is very clear. He clicks the status drop down and it changes it from to do to in progress. So this tells the team that testing for this part has started. Other subtasks like payment timeout and failed transactions, he leaves them in to do. Because testing is not random, it is prioritized. After testing card payment, let's assume that the tester finds no issues. So he changed the status from in progress to done. But what if there was a bug? Then he would create a bug ticket and link it. So the tester zooms out and looks at the epic food ordering flow. Now it contains multiple stories. Each story has subtasks. Each subtask has a status and work is visible and structured. So what started as user should place order has now become a fully organized and testable system inside Jira. Let's continue the same story seamlessly, no resets, no theory jumps. So now this tester has already created the epic named food ordering flow and added the stories like make payment, created subtasks like validate card payment, and started working on one subtask. Now the story starts. Bug happens during a payment testing. Tester is inside Jira working on subtask validate card payment. He has moved it to in progress and now he opens the food delivery app and starts testing. So in a live testing moment, he enters maybe card number, expiry date, the CVV, and clicks pay now. But something feels off. Maybe the screen loads and unloads and loads again, and then suddenly the app crashes. So without leaving the context, the tester goes back to Jira. From the subtask screen, he clicks on create issue, but this time he changes the issue type as bug instead of story. So he starts filling in the details carefully. He writes clearly, app crashes on clicking pay now with valid card details. He also adds the description that when the user enters the valid card details and clicks pay now, the app crashes instead of processing the payment. He writes the steps like open food delivery app, add item to cart, proceed to checkout, enter valid card details, and then click pay now. He also mentions the actual result like it is application crashes, and expected result also like payment should be processed and order confirmed. Next step is to link the bug to the work, which is very important. So he scrolls down to issue links. He links the bug to the subtask validate card payment and the story as make payment. So this matters because now anyone can trace from bug to subtask to story to epic. So there is full visibility. Then it assigns it to developer. So the tester goes back to his subtask validate card payment. He doesn't mark it done. Instead, he updates and adds a comment. Bug created. App crashes during payment. Then keeps it in progress or blocked status. Because testing is not complete until the bug is fixed and retested. Now let's assume that the developer fixes the bug and later on the tester gets a notification in Jira. The bug status changed to ready for testing or another relevant status. So he retests the same steps, that is enter the card details and click pay now, but this time the payment is successful and order is confirmed. So he goes back to Jira, marks the bug as done and also the subtasks as done. Now the story make payment is closer to completion. He opens the epic food ordering flow. Now everything connects, the stories are organized, the subtasks are executed, bugs are tracked and resolved, and testing is validated. So he didn't just test, he ensured the quality across the entire flow. So the flow looks like this in Jira. From epic, that is food ordering flow in big picture, then to stories like each feature, for example payment, cart, menu, then subtasks that are individual testable parts, test cases inside subtasks that are step-by-step validation, bugs that are logged and linked, and board status that shows the real-time sprint progress. So the tester has turned one vague requirement into a fully validated bug-free feature ready for release. So validating requirement is not just a step, it is a mindset. A great tester doesn't just find bugs, but they try to prevent them. And tools like Jira help you to collaborate and question and refine the requirements before a single test is executed. So that brings us to the end of the session. In the next session, we will track everything using requirement traceability.